Welcome to another episode of Uniquely You. And I'm your host, Cherise. And today we have our co host with us, Shakira. And today our topic will be life unscripted. Shakira, sometimes life happens. And life unscripted in terms of the challenges that we face on a daily basis. What do you say about that?
Life is life in like there's no better way to put it than life is just life in because the truth is you can make a plan for your day and it does not go as planned any at all. So you really just have to go with the flow sometimes. It's okay to make plans, it's very important, but also you know that you also have to have an open mind that whenever the sudden list come up, you just have to work with them.
I know, right? Talking about the suddenlies. When life throws a curveball at you, you did not expect it, you didn't have it in your mind, in your view of it happening, but guess what? It happens, right? And we're going to talk about how we can navigate through these challenges, how we can tackle them, you know, give advice on how to cope with our challenges. So, my question is, as for Shakira, what have you been struggling with lately?
All right, so one of my biggest struggle, and I must say one of my huge struggle, is giving myself credit, the credit that I deserve. And I know it's not just me. I know a lot of persons out there have that same struggle where you do something, you accomplish something, and it's just like another assignment, and you finish and you say, oh, I'm finished that, what's next? So we don't celebrate ourselves, we don't give ourselves the victories, whether it is big or small. Celebrating yourself is something we often forget to do. Listen, we often forget to take a breather. We often find ourselves downplaying our achievements.
Yes.
Can I tell you about that? We find ourselves downplaying our achievements or feeling like we haven't done enough, we are not enough. Even when we have, it's like a never ending cycle. It's like a never ending cycle, and we have our self doubt. I recently completed a big project. And instead of celebrating, guess what? My mind immediately went, oh, what's next? Like, what's the next thing to do, Kira? Like, yeah, man, that done. And I didn't even take the time to appreciate me. It was big, it was hard, it was long, and I didn't even take the time to say, go have a drink. Celebrate yourself, celebrate your wins. Like you lose some, you win some. When you lose them, you beat down on yourself and you say,
Yeah.
oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. But then when you win, what happens? Okay,
Next.
tick, move on.
And it shouldn't be like that. It
Definitely
should not be like that. And I can totally relate to that. And I know many of you can. But as for me, it's more of a personal thing for me in terms of I don't feel as though there are enough hours in the day. Like I wish 24 hours was just a bit more.
It's not enough, it's the truth.
Like it's not enough between personal life, work, and everything that's going
Parenting,
on.
I'm trying
Tell
to
me
have a social
about
life.
it.
Like, it's
And
a lot.
It gets overwhelming. It does get overwhelming. But, I'm sure in this game of tug and war,
Life is like that. It's like a constant game of tug and war. Like, oh, I need to do this, but then remember this. Like everything now is becoming the moment, the thing. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, and then you sit there and your little brain a fry because hey, listen. Sometimes I just need to take a breather. Take a breather. Listeners, listen to me. You have to take a breather, or else you will mad. And you cannot afford to mad. So you have to just relax sometimes. Go for a drink. If you don't drink, go have some ice cream.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Write. Because writing helps sometimes. Whatever means you feel like you can celebrate something, you can give yourself credit for something, go right ahead and do it. Because the truth is, we just can't be going and going. At what point do we pause? Like we're running ourselves down, and then we reach the point where we are no longer living, we're just existing. Oh, I'm here. What next? Like a robot. Like live.
That's the thing. It's going to get to a point where you're no longer even beneficial to you. So you're looking in the mirror, you're looking at yourself and you're like, who am I? Who is this person? Because you've spent all this time just keep on going. But I would like to give us a tip on how to deal with it, and that would be for acknowledging that you feel overwhelmed at times. Instead of just pushing it under the rug, own it. Okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This situation is causing me to feel overwhelmed, and embrace it. And because you know that life doesn't always come with manuals, script.
That's true.
The sun doesn't always shine, and the rainbow isn't always out. And do you understand what I mean? Life happens, and I just want us to acknowledge at times when we feel overwhelmed. I know that it's okay.
And sometimes also might I add, find somebody to talk to. Like, I am so tired, and when I say tired, I'm sick and tired of us drowning in our sorrows, drowning in what life is throwing on us. When there are people out there that we can talk to, you just have to find real people. Because I believe that sometimes we ought to be real to ourselves too, because life is life in so much. What we do is we put our feelings, we put our emotions aside, and we just start operating in the robot kind of thing. So we just need to just relax. Take a breather, man. Live a little, my friends. Live a little.
Definitely. And also, like Kira said, to talk to someone, I must say, if it's a case where you need therapy, go get it. Go and get it. Because you matter. It's your situation, it's your challenge, and we want you to overcome it. So if that's the case, I'm all for therapy. Go and get it. Go and get it. Also, I found that breaking things down into smaller sizes or smaller bites, or climb one hill at a time instead of taking on the whole mountain, helps. You know, when we get so overwhelmed, or when we feel so challenged with things, take your time. Take your time.
And as you say, climb one hill. I don't know how many of you have ever been to Blue Mountain. It's a hell of a walk. But what happens, we walk with our water, we walk with our little light stuff to refresh us, and when we get tired, we'll stop here and we'll take a sip and we'll look around and look at everything, because you're up on the hill now, you can see what is down there. So we tend to look over. All I'm saying is apply the same thing to your life. So it does not matter your work, you're a parent, you want to be you, an individual, you want to socialize, like that's a lot. But guess what? Whenever it feels too burdensome, just pause. Pause and pause. Yeah.
You're right there. And on that note, when I pause, I have coffee. What do you have?
Coffee works. Coffee works. I must say coffee works. But for me, coffee is not my go-to. I'll have a glass of wine.
Okay.
Alright, I get something strong on the rocks. You know, nothing too much, no harm will be done. But if it works for me. So when I come home from work and work was exhausting and I'm tired and I have to come home to do the parenting thing, guess what? I'm gonna take 1 hour.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have a drink, I'm gonna watch a show, I'm gonna relax. And then I take up parenting, because if it is that I should just go reach home and dinner need to cook, this need to do, I'm gonna be exhausted. And then when I get exhausted, what happens is that I just have a flare. So somebody come, and because I'm extremely tired and frustrated, you come and you say something to me, I'm gonna blow off.
Yeah.
To avoid that, take a sip.
I like that.
Watch a series, if I even one episode, take a breather. Sometimes you can just do a little meditating. If you have children, just tell them to give mommy about a 30 minutes, and you go in your room and you close the door and you breathe. Deep breathing helps. Trust me, it helps. Inhale, exhale. It works. Try it and tell me. Comment and tell me how it worked for you.
It does. It does work. And on that note, do what makes you happy. In times when you're going through, take time, self-care. Do what makes you happy. If that means you need to go get your nails done, if that means that you need to go for a walk, if that means you need to have a drink, if that means you need to go play golf, if that means you need to do squash, whatever it is that makes you happy, do what makes you happy in that moment. Watch a series, just like Shakira said, and have that moment, because otherwise the energy that you'll be producing is an energy that you don't necessarily want to let off on others, especially if you have children. So take that moment and just, gather yourself together and take care of you, because you matter. You really do.
Definitely. That's a gem. Cherise, my listeners, it's about finding what works for you. A walk and all of the other stuff that Cherise says. Whatever works for you, just make it work. So, yeah, do what makes you happy.
And I agree with that. And speaking on happiness, sometimes it's not work related, sometimes it's not challenging. It's not various challenges, I should say. But guess what? It can be relationship too. Sometimes, Kira, relationships can be
hard work.
It can drain you to the point that you have nothing left. To the point that one phone call makes you exhausted. It flips your mood. So if that's the case, you have to always, know those relationships, put them in a category by themselves.
And can I say something towards that? Get to the point where a phone call doesn't change your mood.
Yeah.
It works. I'm working on it. I'm not going to tell you that I've mastered it. But get to the point where nothing at all really changes your mood. Like you get a call and the situation, say it upsetting or it is disturbing or whatever adjective you want to use, but you are in control of you. You're in control of your emotions. So as a result of that, when you hear whatever the situation was that you got the phone call about, you take a breather, you count to 10 and you say, Kira, I'm not going to let this get the best of me. And you start thinking about ways to solve whatever the issue is. So don't get too caught up on the situation, but find results, find how we can fix it. Because that's the route I'm taking, and I must admit it's not an easy route, but it is working. It is working, and you realize that you have less stress. I was one that I'm full of anxiety. The simplest thing I'm anxiety start take me, and I'm like, I cannot live my life like this. So what I start doing is I start doing some evaluation and sit down and I think about things and I would be like, all right, this is at hand. How can I fix it? And when you figure it out, you're not gonna get it right at once, but you can write down a listing of things. And if you try one and it no work, then you go plan B. And that's why you can't have one plan. Try plan A, it no work, go plan B. If you need to go down a plan Z, do that. Your happiness counts.
And guess what? If you're not at the place where Shakira is yet, but if you know, for example, Shakira, you know, some people call you, and when them call you, you know the conversation is draining, don't take the call. If you're not in the headspace, do not take that call because you already know where the conversation is going. You already know what they're calling about. Some people only call you to offload. Some people won't call you to find out how you're doing, how your day is going. From they call you, you know that they're going to offload some issues or some burdens on you. And if you're not in the mental space for that, don't take the call.
I agree and I disagree a little with that because emergencies happen. So getting a phone call, in your head, you know that person you're calling and I get every day. And when you see it, you say, Lord Jesus, what is going on? But remember, you're in control of you. So if they call you and you realize that it's something that is going to drain you, tell them say you cannot talk. Don't be disrespectful, but say with all due respect, I can't have this conversation now. So we'll talk another time. You're in control of you. Do not take up something that you cannot manage. You cannot see. You cannot weigh 100 pounds and still want 300 pounds and want to go take it up. That's crazy. That is a lot of weight and it will apply a lot of pressure to you.
Definitely.
So if you see the phone call and you choose to answer it and you realize where the conversation is going, darling dear, I understand what you're going through, but I'm not in the mental space to take this call right now. It's your phone. It is your phone. You can hang it up, but I wouldn't want you to just do that. But you can explain to them, I cannot have this conversation now. And you move on. Yep. Listen, life is short. Life is short and very unpredictable. So you have to enjoy what you have now, Cherise. You have to enjoy what you have right now.
I totally agree. Listeners, do you agree? If you do, we need some thumbs up in the comment section. We definitely need some thumbs up in the comment section.
And some comments, right? Like, share, subscribe. Might help somebody.
Remember that we're all in this together and we're all dealing with our own situations. But remember that life is tough and so are you.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Life is tough and
so are you.
So with that said, we have come to a wrap. Thanks for watching and join us for our next episode.
And there you have it. Until next time, please remember that life is beautifully unscripted. Join us on the next episode. Take care.
Bye.